Baby, tonight's the night I let you go. Baby, tonight's the night we lose control.
Okay, we here.
We are here, y'all. We are live.
We are live.
We came in a little early.
Let me share it on my
timeline. Came in a little early to give everybody a chance to log in before we just dive in. I don't want to brag. I'll be.
Okay, I got IG. We on IG. We on Facebook.
What's good, IG? What up? What is up, everybody?
We're gonna give y'all a second to join. Hey, Joy Marie. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Shelly. How about them Cowboys?
You so petty.
What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What is up,
come
IG?
on, IG. Y'all come
today.
on, San Antonio.
What up, San Antonio?
Come on, tell us where y'all from.
Where you at?
Y'all know we in Fort Worth.
Funky Town.
Fort Worth. Facebook do the same thing. Tell us where y'all from and how long y'all been married. Or...
Isabel, how are you? Welcome.
West Virginia.
How y'all
what
doing?
Up? How y'all doing? Alabama, Cincinnati. Oh, that's Alabama. Never mind, bad.
Sorry, y'all. We got kids.
Appreciate it, man. 5 years today. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Joy Marie.
We'll reach out to you, Joy Marie, after this is over. Yeah, we'll reach out to you after this, okay?
Stay on. Make sure you stay at Arizona, Cali, y'all be safe out there.
Pittsburgh. 6 months.
Married 6 months. Yes.
30 years. That's beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
What we got? I think y'all are like popping for real.
Come on. We got a minute before we're gonna get started. We're gonna start at 7.
Keep letting us know where you from, where y'all at. See, this is Huey. Welcome. She's joining us on Facebook.
Okay. Arlington, okay, not married. Okay.
To our singles, welcome to tonight is for you too.
Okay.
Telling poetry, most definitely. 1 year. Congratulations. They always say the first year.
Well, we're going to go ahead and jump right in.
7 o'clock on the dot.
7 o'clock on the dot. So tonight's topic is, babe, I have a few questions. Okay. And I know for men, when you hear those words, we need to talk, or we got a few questions. We get nervous. We like, oh my God, what I done did, what I done said, what's going on.
Why she want to talk?
Heart racing. Like, we can talk about it later. Like, no, let's talk about it now. I need to figure this out now. But we kind of put a spin on it. It's a little different today. So we're going to come talk to you about the most important questions, like to ask your spouse during date night. I know we've been intentional the last 2 weeks. Even with the pandemic going on, we were intentional on dating each other still. So we went out last night, had a good time. We went out a couple weeks ago, spent a lot of time. So we're tailoring this to make sure you have like 5 good questions to ask every date night. So you always have a conversation. People are like, you've been together for 30 years, we don't have nothing to talk about. But if you continue asking these questions as your spouse changes, as you change, their answers will change. So, I've been in this thing for a minute. But so I think it's really important that communication. So me and her, like, we didn't used to be able to communicate. We could barely talk to each other. We can barely look at each other. But now being in a position where we can able to talk to each other, we're able to pour into each other, love on each other, and have those deep conversations that we never used to be able to be scared to have. Yeah. Love you too, Forte.
What up, Sam?
But so that's where this is tailored to. So we're gonna go ahead and pray us in real quick. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get started.
All right, let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, God. We're just grateful for opportunity, grateful for platform, grateful for growth. We thank you in all that's happening, Father, and whoever you lay this on our heart for to do, God, let it speak directly to that person, Father, so that they can rekindle and grow and move forward in the marriage, to create an environment of conversation, Father, an environment of understanding, Father, an environment of just listening to their spouse and the inner parts, and let these questions be just the intro guide of whatever it is that you are looking for to go deeper into each relationship, whether it is marriage, whether it is dating, whether it is just them on their own and talking to themselves and figuring out the questions, God. We know that everything that you do has a purpose, Father. So we pray that you continue to use me and Marcus, Father. Hide us behind the cross so it's not us that they see and that they're looking to be like God, but it's more of you, Father. I pray that me and Marcus are a representation of exactly what you want us to be for this platform in this time for your people, God. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. You're praying like you in a word.
That's up for me.
So what we're gonna do is we tailored this. We're gonna ask each other like 5 questions. I don't know the questions you're gonna ask, but these are questions that you can use. We're gonna post the actual questions on the site as well.
Yeah.
So y'all can go back and use these questions for conversation or dialogue. I think that's important, that keeping that communication open and not just trying to text your spouse, but having that sit down dialogue. I know me and Kayla had a conversation about
like
4 nights ago. We were talking to like 11 or 12 o'clock. We had to work in the morning, but we were like, listen, I don't spend this time. This conversation is worth it. It's worth more than my job, worth more than anything else. So I'm going to spend that time. I'll be sleepy tomorrow at work, but it was worth it because we opened up, talk about childhood, we talk about life, talk about goals, talk about health, wealth, talk about it all. So it all started from one simple question. Yeah.
It was pretty deep. So I purposely did not tell Marcus what questions I wanted to ask him because I wanted his true reaction. So let's do. Babe, what do you feel is the best way to resolve conflict?
The best way to resolve conflict, I feel, is to not let it drag on. But to approach it head on and not kind of beat around the bush. I mean, I know we kind of shied away from hurting each other's feelings. So I think when we kind of hit it head on, but we say we come to each other with love, I feel like that's the best way to solve conflict, because at the end, I mean, at the end of the day, one of us gonna be wrong. I mean, one of us is wrong or right. No one's winning. You know what I'm saying? I want to be right all the time. I want to win all the time. You're ruining your marriage, and I think that's what most couples always want to win. I want to win this argument, I want to win this fight, but it's not about you winning. It's about y'all coming to a resolution and moving forward together.
I agree.
But how about you? Yeah.
Okay. I agree. I feel like a lot of conflict can be avoided by the manner in which it's presented.
Okay.
So the conversation that Marcus and I had, a couple of nights ago, he brought some stuff up that had it been presented differently, I probably would have went left. But because of the way that he presented it to me, it was understood, it was taken, digested, and rectified.
Gotcha.
Your turn. Okay.
So, I guess
it's a lot.
I guess what could I do to increase your level of trust with me?
Honestly, right now, he's already done it. And for our new followers that don't know, me and Marcus went through a patch prior to us being married where I did not trust him as far as I could throw him. But Marcus did the initiative and took it. So if you are having trust issues, what he did that worked for us was, I'm on my way to work, text. I just made it, text. I'm on my lunch, text. So where are you? And then, here comes FaceTime. So I finally broke down and got an iPhone. And he's FaceTiming me. Like, I don't think Marcus calls me anymore. He FaceTimes me every time he calls me. So that has helped a lot. I feel like it's the open communication, the not put your phone face down, not the phone constantly on silent. That's what the transparency, I will say, for me is what really helped.
Right. And that was something that was big for me, because I really didn't trust myself. So I know a lot of men who come from living this bachelor life to getting married. It's a big adjustment. It was a big adjustment for me, because I've always had, I had a girlfriend, I had chicks I would talk to on the side, and I was like, listen, I can't continue to do that for my marriage to work successfully. So I had to break down and just open up that help Kayla trust me more, but I trust myself first. So I surrounded myself with a group of guys who kind of held me accountable. They would literally call me out like, hey, bro, are you doing what you need to be doing? They would check my phone. They would be like, hey, we want to make sure that you are in the right position. You're not going to jeopardize your future with your wife.
That's good. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Where did we go? I just had it. what could I do to show you more support on a daily?
Show me more support on a daily. I think to show me more support on a daily. Hold on a second.
Sorry, I didn't have to
Sorry.
back.
What could you do to show me more support on a daily? That's tough for me because my perspective as a husband is to always outserve my wife. So it's kind of hard for me to ask you for support because the way I've kind of tailored my mind to work as a husband is to not really to try to outserve you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess for support, I mean, like, I don't know. It's a tough question. Like, that's a real tough question. I got to think about that because I don't ask for help, and I think that it's a good and a bad thing. But I think it's something I need to kind of, I guess, really dig into and think about what I could do to ask for support. I mean, we kind of split everything up. Like, we don't have any duties at the house. We don't. It's not she wash dishes, I wash clothes. You know, it's not that whatever needs to get done, we kind of do. We take care of the kids. We both bathe our children. We both wash bottles. We both take out the she don't take out the trash, but we both have a right. But I think that's something that's important. In our marriage, we don't have those gender roles where it's like I'm not doing that. Like I'll come home, I'll cook. I'll come home, I'll start some dishes. You know what I'm saying? There's no gender roles for me to need support. I think it's kind of tricky in our situation because I don't think you always supported me, so it's never really a question of how can you support me.
I'm down for that. In other words, I'm doing good.
Yeah, let me get my turn to ask a question. So what question are we on?
I don't know. I thought I was supposed to answer.
Oh, okay. You didn't answer the other question about the trust, but this
yeah,
one.
I did.
Okay.
When I said you already did.
Okay. So what?
As far as support for me, and I will say prior, because Marcus kind of already answered it. It is like I remember coming to a point where I was like, babe, I need help. Like I got two little people I'm trying to get ready for. I'm got to get myself ready, trying to keep the house up. But Marcus's flip on that was, well, who said you had to do it by yourself? You never asked, so I never got the help. So ladies, I highly, like if I had a pre-connotation that Marcus isn't going to help because he's the man in the house and he shouldn't have to, but his response to me was, I live in this house too. These are my kids as well. This is also my responsibility.
Right. So, okay, next question is, when did you first realize that you loved me? I mean, I know it was like...
Y'all know who's going to ask this.
Oh, man, I know. I just want to know, like, when did you first realize that you love me? You could see yourself spending the rest of your life with me. Because a lot of y'all don't know, like, the way we started was not the way...
It's like the complete...
Everything you're not supposed to do, we did it. Like, we started off dating, got a baby, then moved in and moved out, and moved back in before marriage, then got married, and we had to work through all these difficulties in our relationship. We're 11 years in. Been married for 4 years. But I want to know when you realized you loved me and you want to spend the rest of your life with me. Like, what was it?
I remember the night. We were over at the house in the Highlands. And it was like me, you, Gally, Nigel, Mike, and we were all like literally just sitting around chopping it up. And like just watching you kind of like interact with me, and then like just kind of feeling the vibe of like you and how you are around people and how you were with me. Like at that point, I was like, this dude is so cool. Like if I could just keep this feeling for forever, I'll be great.
So that was early. That was probably like year 1, year 2. Yeah. Gotcha. So for me, mine was later on down the line. Which 4 or 5 years after that. So like I'm not gonna know, like me and Kelly, we had our child, then we moved in together, then we separated. Love at first sight. Yeah, Jay Reed, what you it's your boy, Jay. You know what I mean? Like what you expect, man? Nah. But it was different because Kayla wasn't my type. So when people ask me like, how did you know she was the one when you first saw her? Kayla wasn't my type at all. Like I like my girls a certain way, and she wasn't it. I'd always dated a certain type of girl, so when she did come, she was more like a home girl. Like she cool, that's it. She was like wanting a relationship. I was like, nah, I'm not ready for that because I didn't know that every relationship I was gonna get in there. Like that was like it was gonna lead to marriage. I wasn't ready to get married. I was like, I'm gonna play these girls the rest of my life. I'm never gonna get married. Nobody ever gonna settle down with me. That's always gonna be my excuse. I let them get close and I push them away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then when we had our son and things got involved, I still was like, I'm gonna be a good father. But I'm not your husband. You know what I'm saying? So then it kind of came to a situation we went through our rough patch that's where Marriage Chronicles was birthed out of our situation. And in that moment, I'll never forget, like I said before, I was literally laying in Kayla's lap crying over another woman that I told her, I'm Kayla, I'm still in love with this woman. And she said, we're going to make it through this. Right? So in that moment, I was like, what? This is like, what, it's probably 6-7 years ago now?
Yep.
6-7 years ago. So we're going to make it through this. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to try to love you. And I literally, like, the next few weeks, I was with Kayla every day, and I'm going to try to love you. And I was like, it's not there. Nothing's coming. It's not, I don't love you. And next thing you know, it just clicked. I don't know the time, I don't know the day, but it just clicked. Because I was intentional on trying to love her. Next thing you know, like, I was like, I can't go another day without you. And ever since then, we have been, I mean, it's not been perfect,
no,
but it showed me it's been worth it. I got to say that.
Really? Yeah. Okay, so our last couple questions have been heavy. So we'll lighten it up a little bit. What was I going to put there?
And if y'all have any questions too, chime in. We can answer those questions about us or anything. We are open book. We'll tell you whatever. I mean, we'll tell it how it is. We don't have anything sugarcoat it. We tell it how it is.
You know what? I kind of want to stay a little heavy. Here's my question: like, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve?
So I know not to do it.
My biggest pet peeve in regards to like just you period or like.
I mean, period. Just in life.
I hate repeating myself. And I hate like when I like even like cleaning up, like when I like pick up after you, like that's my biggest pet peeve. Like if I clean up, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. You asked.
Moving on. No, I'm just like.
What's your biggest pet peeve for me? Like
okay, y'all. He does this consistently. He does it with our kids. Questions. We see your questions on IG. Yes, we are about to come in and answer all of these. So everybody, Facebook too. Everybody, put your questions in, and we're gonna go through and answer these. My biggest pet peeve is like I'm a cuddler, and I like to be cuddled and like snuggled. But like I literally just said this to Marcus. Was it yesterday? See, I was like, you are either 0 or you're like 150, and there's like no in between. But let me finish. So either he is like sitting with me like this, or he is like full body weight laid on me, like against me, and I'm trying to get up, and he's like, "Where you going? I don't want you to get up. Okay. I don't know." And I'm like, "Bro, like we gotta find middle ground. Like we got to."
Okay, I can take that.
You accept that?
But that's how I've just always been. So.
I know it's either like 0 or like 150. Y'all, there's no in between. There's no in between. We did have a question on IG. How do you build trust back? It takes a while. It's not anything that happens overnight. Like Marcus said, if you guys, if you have not already, go to our YouTube page, the Stutsons. Find the video called The Project, and it'll actually give you like me and Marcus's breakdown, like details on what happened, how it happened, when it happened, in a time frame. Absolutely with God, most definitely. But what'll happen is Marcus basically, like when he told you guys I was crying in his lap, basically what happened was Marcus told me he was in love with another woman, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be okay. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking I'm not about to be nobody's baby mama. Like, we gotta make this work. So what I had to do was to show mercy and show grace. First, I had to realize if I wanted to do it.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Right.
I was like, am I going to stay in this? Because I'm not married at the time. So am I going to stay in this, or am I going to go? Like, yes, we have a kid, but people co-parent every day. But I had to make the mental choice. Okay, Kayla, I chose to forgive him. Now I have to walk that out. I have to. So every day it was a everyday choice. It was a everyday opportunity. God gives us grace and new mercies every single day. So I was like, okay, if I've chosen to forgive him as God has forgiven me, and God chose to wake me up today and give me another chance and let me prove myself again today, knowing that there might be a possibility that I mess up, but he still continues to do that for me. So that's what I had to do every single day. I didn't look at it on the long run. I didn't think about 2-3 months in advance. I was thinking right then in that hour, in that day. And for the most part, Marcus chose to show me, because he was given the opportunity to show me that I could trust him.
Right. And I feel like the biggest, So to kind of piggyback on the question, so me and mine was different. I've always trusted Kayla. I mean, mine is a little different. I've never not trusted her because her cutoff game is strong because she cut me off a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So it was yeah. So to rebuild that trust, I think it's twofold. You know what I'm saying? We set boundaries. We had curfew. It wasn't me just coming over at 11 o'clock at night after I left wherever I wanted to go. If I wanted to see her, I had to be there before at 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, you had to be there by 9 o'clock.
8 or 9 o'clock. I wasn't coming through there. It wasn't no IHOP. We went open 24/7. You know what I mean? And she said we put boundaries in place.
Because it was like that.
Cause I used to just kind of come over after I get through doing what I want to do. I'm like, hey, baby, it's 2 o'clock. Like, what you doing? Let me slide through. And she allowed that for so long. So it came a point where when we were building that trust back and building that trust back, all that stuff had to change.
Put my foot down.
And yeah, she really did. But women, I think a lot of women, they kind of accept that we got a kid together, you know, so they kind of accept him to kind of do what he want to do. But in the end of the day, if you want to be in that same position, if you don't make any changes, you'll be in the same position. No matter, a man may say, yeah, I'll marry you one day, you know what I'm saying? But he gonna continue doing the same thing till you change.
He's gonna allow you to do as much or as less as
you allow him
to do.
Right. And that's something that she said because she kind of knew how it was. So at that point, it was like, okay, I'm not playing this time. And I knew she was done. I knew I didn't have any more chances after that. So at that point, I was like, okay, I gotta stop. And like I say, it literally took us probably to get the trust back. It probably took almost a year, maybe longer. It wasn't a quick
3. I'm gonna say about 2 years.
About 2 years, and I proposed about 2 years later. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't just an overnight thing. So it's a constant, intentional. That's what was about the intentional thing that you have to do.
I think on both sides.
Right.
On both sides. So if I asked Marcus something, he told me or showed me whatever it was.
Even if it's gonna hurt. And that was the most important thing. I was like, and that's kind of what that's the funny part. That's kind of what I did too. I tried to like hurt her and try to push her away by telling her the truth, but it actually made us like fall deeper in love with each other because it's like she was like really still there for me. I love this woman still. I still love her. I'm crying to her. Like,
no, hold on. Let's set this record straight though. Like after he first told me, I wasn't just like, oh my god.
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay, you know what? This is cool because Marcus was my friend first.
Right.
And so, like, as me telling him we're gonna get through this is me seeing a person that I cared about broken.
Right.
And I was like,
that's it.
Marcus, as a man, I was like, I don't like you like this. I don't like that this situation has you in this position that makes you feel like this. So I'm still gonna be here for you through this. But yeah, no, like when he first told me, I mean, you weren't coming over at all. I think he even started talking to somebody else.
Right. But that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much the question. So these questions are important, like when you're going out on date night, when you're spending time with each other, because these can spur a lot of other questions. I mean, about your childhood, about your life. Because we have different childhoods when we were brought up. So I asked questions about her childhood and why she parents the way she does, or why she feels the way about certain things. And I think it's so important because
I feel like that's kind of coming in big this year.
It's coming big, especially being home with the kids. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. We got a 1-year-old almost. And a 9-year-old. So it's been, and I've been working from home, and it's just been a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff going on. So we had to have those conversations during that time. But it's a blessing to be able to communicate with your spouse.
But y'all, the questions that's on there's questions about money, there's questions about sex, there's questions about future plans.
Sex.
Like we don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer this. No. Like, there's a question that, you know, like, how often do you think we should have sex? Like, what's your favorite position? What do you not like? What do you like? What pushes you like? You know what I mean? So it's when you create the environment to ask, I guess those are not awkward, but like those.
We're grown and married, girl.
That's what I'm saying, not awkward, but I mean, like, it just doesn't like, hey, baby, how many times do you want to have sex? And we're sitting in the middle, you know what I mean? Like, to create an environment to ask.
Look, we ain't boyfriend, girlfriend no more.
I get that. What I'm saying is like, we're sitting at the dinner table, like, hey, baby, how often do you want to have sex? Like, you know, that's kind of like blindsiding. You know what I mean?
Answer the question.
Anyway, I know you. Like, I know yours.
Well, what's yours? Let's talk about it.
You know, I don't know. I'm a moments person. Like, there has to be moments created. This dude is like, 3 days.
You beautiful. I mean, do you blame me? I mean, you are a beautiful
3 days.
woman.
3 days. Clockwork.
Listen, you're beautiful.
We're on day 2. You see this?
You are beautiful, and like I can't help it. Like, what do you? Then if I don't try, then you're like, what's wrong with you? Why ain't you trying to mess with me? Like,
I know your time frame. I know the farthest that you can go, and I know like the shortest time frame that you're in.
Please message, but really ask those questions. Like, really, because I'm saying seriously. Like you seriously got to have these conversations because it's going to come up. Because I know there's some stuff that I was struggling with, and I was mad at her about it. She had no idea that.
None.
You know what I mean? Because we're not talking about it. I'm just holding it in. Like, man, forgive her, painful. You know what I mean? Like, you make me wait 2 weeks, and But I'm not voicing it. So, listen. See that couch? No.
Did you see it? You see it.
But you got to have these conversations. Like, really, you really got to have these conversations. I think so. That's really our goal is to let people know that communication. That's why we praise date nights. We talk about date nights. We talk about going out and spending additional time.
How do you pray for romance in your relationship? Can I do it?
Go ahead.
I had to tell Marcus what I wanted. Marcus is like, he is a romantic, but his romance and my romance are like two different things, which kind of goes back to love languages too, which is another question on this list. So I would say, is that Shelly, tell him what you want. Like I told Marcus, because I think that's one of the questions, like what would be your perfect date night, beginning to end? Tell me what it is.
Right.
Give him ideas.
Right. She likes surprises. She likes flowers.
Get in the car, let's go.
She likes stuff I don't like, but I kind of have to break down because I'm so used to buying gifts. Like my love language is giving gifts. Her love language isn't giving gifts. So it's kind of it's weird. You got to kind of break.
Come home to a house completely clean, dishes
right.
washed,
That's what I'm saying.
and the kids are set.
But that's what I've been doing lately. Like, I came out and cleaned the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm cleaning the toilets and all kind of stuff. I'm like, give me some. You know.
I'm tired.
So I cleaned up early right before we started the video.
I know. I was like,
all right, listen. All right, you looking good tonight. I'm gonna play with you. But I'm just saying.
Tell them what you want.
Tell them what you want. Like you gotta let them know. Like this is what I want. This is my ideal date night, and give them tips. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of drop nuggets. Like, oh, I like these flowers. You know what I'm saying? Because
I started buying myself flowers at Walmart. I was like, look, baby, these $5 flowers. You see these $5 flowers?
Right, because that's something that I kind of took notes, and I think I surprised her a couple of times. And the times I did surprise her, she was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I surprised her for her birthday, I surprised her for like Valentine's Day. I had like candles, dinner. You know, I listen. We hear all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got to just use it. So I think that's the most important thing. But yeah, but for me, for romance, most men don't really care for romance. They kind of just want to get to the end. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But
men are microwaves and women are crock pots.
Yeah. So that's I don't care for romance, honestly. I mean, I'm just being honest.
And I'm a hopeless romance.
Yeah, I don't want no lingerie.
I got time about
yeah, that's too much work.
But when it comes down to it, Shelly, I would say, like, real talk, like, if y'all choose to have a date night to sit down and go through these questions, be like, hey, what's your ideal date night? Okay, great. Well, here's mine.
Right.
Is that it?
We got about 2 more minutes. We got kids. We got to get them ready. So if y'all got any questions, shoot them in now.
Oh, hey, Tina. We see you on Facebook. What up, boo? On Facebook. She's down here.
I'm looking at nobody. Okay. But yeah, anything else or anything?
If y'all have any questions for us at all, I mean, we try to go live at least once a month.
I know we've been kind of slacking, but during that time, I know we told y'all we took a break because we were doing couples counseling, and then Kayla branched off and was doing individual counseling. So we were kind of trying to work on us because we weren't in a good place. I mean, honestly, we were kind of struggling in our own marriage. We were kind of struggling in our own relationship. So I think it's important.
Keep the love alive. Again, like, it literally stems back to the open communication, because like what I consider love, what I consider romance, what is not what Marcus has. So I would say, for the most part, keep it light. Like, it's really not that serious. It really, truly is not. And if it's something that you feel like is that serious, pull one of those, hey babe, can we talk real quick? So that's why I say, like, remember who you were when you accepted the ring. Right. Me and Mark used to joke around all the time. Like, earlier today, he literally tackled me down to the couch as he was trying to show our son how to take people out of
things. Gotta make sure you're ready.
So that's why I say keep it alive. Remember who you were when you first got married.
Okay. She said, I just got engaged
and we married in December. Congratulations. How do I get
ask,
to learn
ask,
more.
ask these questions. That's what I'm saying. Just that communication, just being able to openly communicate. Even if, so say you can have conversations together, maybe get together with another couple, and y'all kind of ask questions together. Because sometimes people kind of open up a little more.
We should turn this into a card game.
We can do that. But just have a couple like question night. You know what I mean? We're gonna ask a bunch of questions. You know what I'm saying? Kind of open up. I think that's most important because I think I'm still learning her. I've been with her 11 years, so but it started with that communication um, and not being afraid. I think it's not being afraid to
be vulnerable.
Be vulnerable. I was always scared to be vulnerable to a woman because I was scared a woman was gonna hurt me. So I wasn't going to open up and tell you my biggest fear and my weakness. I'm like, I ain't gonna tell you that. You use that against me? Like, you crazy? So but I think when you realize you're with your spouse, you guys are one now. Okay, so when you're weak, she's weak. You know what I'm saying? So I think once you understand that and you really grasp that concept, she's not going to hurt you. She's on your side. She's on your team. This is your teammate. Your teammate ain't gonna hurt you. She went for the Cowboys. Like she Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott. We're on the same team. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna hurt each other. What sense does that make? So I think that's the most important thing. That's how you get to learn them more. And the older you get, you're going to continue to grow and change. But
so you're going to have to keep learning your spouse. It's an ongoing thing. I'm not the same person I was when we first got married. So what's the next one?
When your spouse doesn't want to do counseling,
go yourself. Take the tools. Like that's kind of how we ended up. Our marriage counseling kind of came to a still like a what's that called, stalemate, whatever. Mm-hmm. Because there were issues that I had to deal with, that I was taking on my issues, bringing into the marriage. So once I fix me, it was going to fix that. And if your spouse isn't wanting to go, your counselor should be able to give you tools to show you how to cope with it, and you use that at home. And you might be surprised, like it might not even need to be a couples thing. It might just be if I change my mindset, it might in turn change theirs. Right. Thank y'all for sharing with it. Absolutely, no problem.
Joy,
answering questions. So what we do.
Message us, Joy, so we can get your information.
So we have yours. So we have something for you.
Yeah.
Is that
like
it?
That's pretty much all we got. We've been on for 30 minutes. Our
kids are getting restless.
Yeah, we love y'all. We thank y'all for the support. We're open book. Be sure to check out our website. We have literally 100 articles over everything. Date night tips. Quotes, scriptures, you name it. We have all our content on the website. We have 100 plus videos on YouTube. Be sure to check those videos out. Share them with a friend. Share them with a married couple. We want to make sure.
Share them with a single couple.
Exactly, because I said we were single ones, and we know how hard it is out there now. So we want to make sure we're blessed and being 100% honest and transparent. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're going to tell it how it is. We're going to give you facts, and that's just what we're called to do. Because I feel like our story can bless somebody else. They think, I could never get married. I said, you told me 20 years ago, I would never get married. Like, it wouldn't even thought in my mind. Have kids? Like, what? Nah.
And now we got two.
Got two. A beautiful wife. A blessing. Like, this woman is literally, y'all don't understand how much this woman has blessed my life. For me to be able she trusted me enough to move away from our home. We moved from Oklahoma City to the Dallas area for a job that I took, and she trusted me and she allowed me to be the man God has called me to be, and she continued to pour into me. The other night she prayed over me like never before. It was, like I say, marriage is a beautiful thing, man. Like it's when you're doing it, man, it's beautiful when it's done right. I know everybody down dogging marriage and all that, and but we not. We have, every marriage has its rough patches, but what are you gonna do to get through it?
What conscious decision are you
plain and simple. So that's why we say Matthew 19:6. What God is joined together, let no man separate. That's the verse we kind of stand on. That's our pretty much our banner verse. But yeah. So YouTube, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Be sure to follow us and share it with a friend. You got anything else, baby?
Nope.
That's all we got. Give me a kiss. Look at you.
Thank you.
Look at that.
I'm about to do something tonight, y'all. But as always, y'all, we love you guys. Thank you for your support. Again, open books. Let us know what you guys need. Joy, we will get your information, get that sent out. Facebook, as always, you guys have been there. We appreciate it. And we will see y'all next week.
Thanks.
Okay, I got the books. Oh, baby.
What's on?